Winifred over here is telling you guys that it is August, which means it is a new month and a new movie for the Movie Marquee. Friends! Hello! Welcome back to Amethyst Craftworks. I'm Samantha. This is Mando and Grogu for, sadly, the last time when it comes to at least the Movie Marquee with the theme of Star Wars. But we are back today for a Movie Marquee update and roundup and reaction and all of that good stuff. I am very excited to get started here. I'm excited to show off to you what I did in July. And so before I just sort of babble your head off here, let's actually get into it. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the Movie Marquee, at this point, I gotta say that's on you and not on me. But in case you are not familiar, then me and myself and I, along with Heather the Crochet Witch and Bella from Bella's Crocheted Gifts, the three of us are tag team in the Movie Marquee Challenge this year. Every month, one of us is picking a movie, and then that movie is the inspiration for everyone to pull colors and inspo and all that good stuff to make a project, whether that's crochet or anything else that kind of tickles your pickle. I don't think there's any rules there when it comes to that. But we are all basing things on that movie's poster in that month. And so for July, it was, in case you cannot tell, it is Star Wars: A New Hope. We do have a new movie for August that we will get to. But first we are going to discuss what I did, what I finished for Star Wars. I am a big fan of Star Wars. I love the sort of entire, no pun intended, universe of Star Wars. Big fan, big nerd, and I had a lot of fun this month with the Movie Marquee. I am excited to show you what I did, so let me just grab it here. So, my project for the Movie Marquee is granny squares. I'm making granny squares to make a cardigan out of at the end of the year. I'm doing 6 granny squares in total, pulling colors from the poster. And one of those granny squares is getting an applique on it that is a reference to something in the movie. The front panels of my cardigan are going to have all those fun and funky appliques, and I think it's going to look incredible. Absolutely incredible. So these are 2 of the squares that I already showed you that I completed. And I've got, so there's 2, and then I've got 3 more here that are finished as well. These are the 2 that I mentioned were specific references to characters. These 2 as well are also references to characters. But these 2 in particular are Leia and Han. My favorite movie couple, I think, of all time. Leia, like I have said many times, like every character is my favorite, right? But Leia, she is up there 100%. And so this is her dress, and then her cinnamon bun hair, right? And then Han Solo wears like navy and white, like a vest thingy, and and then his hair is brown. So these 2 are completed. And then the very last one that I did, let's try to hold it up to you. This is all of my sparkly yarns in one square. The navy, the red, the yellow, and the green that I used for other representations and other things, all in here. This doesn't really have much specifically to do with the poster, but it is all the sparkly yarns that I used in this month's squares, because sparkly stars and pew pew lasers and all that stuff, I thought it fit very, very well to have some sparkly yarn to it. But then, speaking of the sparkly yarn, the last thing that I'm going to hold up to you, which is still on my stretching board here, is my applique for the month of July. Star Wars lightsabers, it just they go hand in hand. This was immediately what I thought of when I was thinking of appliques to do for Star Wars. I'll hold it up. Hold it up to ya. We've got the green one here that is the good side, the Jedi side. And then the red one, which represents Darth Vader's, which is the Sith side, the bad side, the dark side, right? And they're crisscrossed, whoom, in mid-king battle, right? So it looks fantastic, in my opinion. In my opinion. And I have it on this stretching board because I will take it off here. I don't know if this was maybe user error or what. And I'm not even sure you can really see it. Yeah, you can see it on camera. Things just got wonky here in sewing it on. I'm not really sure. It's kind of wavy on the sides. I think it's very much user error. I just sort of pinned them down, sewed them down to the square, kind of without much planning to it, right? And let me set this back down over here. I didn't have a whole lot of planning to it, and so it caused the square to kind of ripple. You can see it sort of down here. It's not the most perfect, I will say. It's not my best work. It could be better, for sure. And I could redo it. I have plenty of all of these colors of yarn to redo it. But I think with my blocking board here, I think I'm going to try to steam block this sort of in a more perfectly square shape. I also have plans to steam block Artax, he's in my intro. He's part of the first half of the year of the Granny Square appliques that I have done. And he's also a little bit wonky. His mane is very wild and curly. And so I may give him a steam block, and while I'm at it, maybe steam block this one on the blocking board, just to try to give it a bit of oomph. You can kind of see, it's hard to show you, really, that this one lays very flat. It's been on the blocking board, so it's generally square shaped. But this one, especially down at the bottom, it just is wavy. And it's not perfect. Not perfect. However, I will say, not only is this a handmade project, so it's not going to be perfect, but it's a me handmade project, and so it's absolutely not going to be perfect. But as was the case for Hocus Pocus, which was my first movie pick in March, you kind of hype yourself up so much, right? I love this movie. I love this franchise. I loved Hocus Pocus. The characters and everything else. And so it's sort of, you're like, I gotta do it justice. I have to do it perfectly. I have to make it so that the lightsabers aren't derpy, right? But then they kind of ended up that way anyway. And it's not something that you necessarily want to beat yourself up about. Yarn is not that serious, right? It's not. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable and not full of pressure and anxiety and everything else like that. So I'm going to try to block it. If it works, great. If it doesn't, still great. It's still going in my cardigan one way or the other. And yeah, those are the finishes for the month of July. But I do have one other thing here to discuss with you. I'm just gonna set my wonky crisscrossed lightsabers there. Because the other thing that we have to discuss is Bella's pick for August. Bella not only picked in May, her own birthday month, but she picked in February, which is my birthday month, and she picked in August, which is Heather's birthday month. Bella, you somehow worked out to have all of the birthday months. I don't know how you did that, girl. Anyway, she picked for this month, and she drew, drum roll please, I will give you a sec here to check the description and then click on over to her channel if you haven't seen her draw. But it is Adventures in Babysitting. Have you guys seen this movie? It is such a fun movie. It's in theme, I would say, with Bella's picks, in that it's like an 80s adventure type movie where it's like kind of wacky and zany, and like they go on, like there's a lot of scraps and scrapes and trials and tribulations and all that stuff. And it's a very fun movie, and the poster is very indicative of that as well. And I have picked colors for my project out of this movie's poster so that we can discuss and all that good stuff. So hold on, let me grab my bag here. I've got my Movie Marquee project bag, which this month is less full than it has been in previous months. And that is because I am not only trying to use yarn that I kind of already own, but I'm also trying to use up a lot of scrap yarns that I've got. I did buy quite a few colors and things of yarn that I didn't have specifically for ones that I knew would be coming up, aka my own months. But a lot of these I've been trying to pull from my scrap bin to just use these up, get them used in something that I'm going to love. And so a lot of my color choices were scraps this month. So the first one I'm going to pull out here is the only full skein, and this one is not even a full skein anymore. I have used this good old Karen Simply Soft in gold, I'm pretty sure. Yes, gold is the color name. I've used this one in several Movie Marquee months. This one fits in quite well because instead of the poster, I'm going to insert a picture over here of the main girl. If I remember correctly, her name is Chris, I think. I first saw this movie as an adult, and I also first saw it, I want to say at the end of last year. I had to go looking it up when Bella and Heather and I were kind of discussing the Movie Marquee, because I don't think I had ever seen it, and if I had, I was young enough that I didn't remember it. So the thing that stuck out to me was Chris and her beautiful long knitted, appearing to be knitted scarf. It's in color blocks that's almost rainbow, and so I am using really Chris's scarf, and I apologize if her name isn't Chris. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it is. But if it's not, I'll correct myself on the screen or, in the next video. But really, her scarf is what my inspiration is. So I'm pulling colors from her scarf. So first we've got gold. And then we've got red. This is Varsity Red. It is the end of a skein. I have used this in several months, in several projects, so we just have a little tiny cake here. But yes, Varsity Red from Big Twist Value. Then, this one is truly from my scrap bin. And I have to be honest, I can't 100% remember what it is. I think it is Big Twist Value Varsity Orange. I think. I may be wrong. But this is like, you know, not a tiny ball, but a small ball of scrap yarn. And I no longer have the label, so whatever this is, it's going in as well. Along with, I've got 2 shades of blue. Ugh. The scrap yarns are falling out. So this one is blue. You can tell that's very blue. While this is purple, right? They look very similar. There, you can totally tell. So this is Varsity Blue from Big Twist Value. And this, I have absolutely no idea the name of this yarn. It is one of the very first yarns that I bought off of Amazon. It was like in a pack of maybe 10 small-ish skeins of yarn. It's not the greatest quality. It does split. It splits even more than Simply Soft does. So if you're familiar with Karen Simply Soft, you know how bad it can split. This is even worse. But it was in my scrap bin, and it is almost the perfect blue to go with her scarf because there's 2 shades of blue in it, right? So I'm trying to use it up, so it's going in. And then I did indeed flash this purple at ya. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is Amethyst from Red Heart Super Saver. I think I love this shade of purple, and I think Amethyst, which, I mean, come on, Amethyst Craftworks, hello. Amethyst from Red Heart Super Saver is like my ideal purple. I think that's what this is. It certainly feels like it. It looks like it. And I don't really know what else it would be. So this is also going in. And then I've got two more left in here. Because let's see. This is, oh, nose is itchy. I think I've got, I always have fibers in my nose from something. And then, you know, my nose ring bothers me sometimes. But anyway, this is Buff, I think, from Red Heart Super Saver. It is just sort of a neutral tan. And again, in the poster or in the picture, whichever is still up over there, the main girl's coat, she's got like a camel colored sort of trench coat kind of coat. And so this was about as close as I could get to her coat color. So this is going in. Boy, we have quite the colorful arrangement of scraps of yarn that is just waiting to tumble. And then the last color. This is just a little scrap cake of a Walmart Mainstays 100% acrylic. Pretty sure it's just called gray. I've got Ralphie hair in it. That's fun. But it's just a gray. Plain old gray. And this is going to be the main portion of my applique for the month. Now, I don't think I have given away any of my appliques in this first, like, reaction video for the month. I don't think I have. But I'm absolutely not going to give it away now. But I will say, If you're familiar with the movie, if you've seen it, you can probably glean what I'm going for just by this one color. And that is the last color that is going in there. That's kind of a fun palette, isn't it? I'm going to work the colors in sort of a random order for the squares, at least currently. My current plan is to just sort of jumble these colors together in different configurations, kind of like the browns that I did in January for Young Guns 2, where each square wasn't really a different set of colors. It was just one palette of browns that I sort of mixed up together in different configurations. That's what I'm going to do with these colors, I think. And then the applique is going to be silver gray, right? And yeah, that's all the yarn that is in my bag. In fact, while I say goodbye to you here, I will just put all my scraps back in my bag, because indeed these are just waiting to go tumbling. And so before they do, I will just say goodbye to you. Thank you so much for joining me here today. I want to hear your opinions. What do you think of what I did for Star Wars? I love this franchise so very much. It is very nostalgic for me. It is very special to me. I love so many of the characters, so many of the spin-offs, so much of the whole world of Star Wars, that I think I did put a little too much pressure on myself to make it perfect. And since it's not, it's a little disappointing, but I'm going to get over it. I'm going to steam block it. If you have another suggestion for me to kind of fix the derpy mess of my square, leave me a comment and let me know. But otherwise, thank you so much for leaving me a like if you like the Movie Marquee. And please subscribe today for more, because more and more of these episodes come out every month. So I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Goodbye.